Welcome, world, to Life, Love, and Wellness Global, a worldwide wellness movement. I am Reverend Sandy Rogers, and as the creator of this historic event, it is my pleasure to welcome you. We come together to bring you this historic event. We have practitioners, holistic practitioners. We have medical doctors. We have spiritual individuals. This event is so lovingly dedicated to my mother, Mrs. Barbara Dean Brown. And my mother taught me like 40 plus years ago about the importance and the meaning behind herbs. And she would always say, we don't know what they putting in those pills, so you better not, get hooked on prescription drugs. And so we listened to Mom, but not all of us paid attention. My sister, bless her heart, was diagnosed recently thereafter with asthma, and she was prescribed prednisone, which is a very powerful steroid. And my sister actually got hooked on steroids, like someone out on the street kind of hooked, like on heroin or crack or something like that. And so my mom and my sister are both on the other side, living in the other dimension, but they're upholding me, and this is dedicated to their memory. So we don't want to come and make you change your mind about what you're doing. We just want to provide information to you, something different, so that you have options to choose from, so that you're not stuck. Because the environment that we now live in, the fast foods, the toxins in the air that we breathe and in the water that we drink, and the processed foods, and all of that is causing havoc on this precious body temple. So God created our bodies to heal themselves, but they can only heal themselves when they're fed and they're nourished and they're stress-free. And so the 60 or so or more experts that we have are bringing you this worldwide wellness movement in an attempt to share their testimonies and their information with you. So we have from age 14 on up. I don't even know what the oldest age is. I think 88 or something. So you see, that's a wide range of knowledge that we're bringing you. And so we hope that you come and that you get all the knowledge that you need to affect a positive change on your life, and share this with others. It's free, it's online, and so we're just so thankful that you decided to be a part of our listening community, the viewing community, and we certainly appreciate you for giving us your time of day and your energy and your efforts to being with us and to being a part of this historic event. We have pulled together people of color for you, by you, right? So we want to make sure that you understand that we too, melanated people with color, can enjoy, practice, and participate in some of these modalities that others have been doing for centuries, and that is pretty new to our community. So we talk about Qigong, we talk about meditation, yoga, spiritual work from a different perspective than religion. So we talk about the spirituality aspect. We talk about abuse in the families. We talk about all kinds of subjects because we know that in our communities there are layers and layers and layers and layers of stuff that we never talk about that's causing a negative effect on our bodies and its healing process. So we address it, whatever it is, and we hope that you will benefit from the many experts that we have, and that you walk away with lots of knowledge and lots of new information, and that you become fully empowered to share information with others. So thank you for being with us. We love you and we bless you, and we look forward to doing this again. But thanks for being here with the first one. We appreciate you.
Love and wellness. Life, love, and wellness.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you for inviting me here. It's a pleasure to be always to be in your company. My name is Vera Taylor. That was the name that my mother gave me. And I've been given many names throughout my life. Amen Sarah Hatep, which means she finds peace through God. Okay?
I love that.
Yes, and then everyone in the community calls me Kanika, and Kanika means daughter of laughter wrapped in black cloth. And I received that name because I enjoy working with cloth and I enjoy working with color. And you know, this is my black cloth.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So I was raised in Delaware. I'm the daughter of Emma Taylor and George Taylor, the granddaughter of Mary James Clark, Clara, and James Wesley Hoxter, Warden. Okay, so I'm from Delaware, but I came south because I did not like the snow. So I came to Georgia and I found snow, but it's not as much as in Delaware. I feel a kinship with being in the South. Coming to the South, I found who I really was. And when my family asked me, why are you going south? It wasn't safe for a young black woman to come south in the mid-70s. But I just had this yearning to go somewhere, to be somewhere different. And I always had this question, who am I? And do people accept me because of who my family is? Or do they accept me as an individual? So I came south not knowing anyone, wanted to know if people accept me for who I am as a person. So I'm still on that journey trying to discover who I am, who is this person called Vera Kanika Amensara Hatep Taylor. So I'm still on that journey, I'm still searching. And coming to Atlanta allowed me to open up as a person because no one knew who I was. So I was free to invent myself. I told my family I was coming here to go to school, to grad school, and I did that. It took me 5 years to get a master's degree because I enjoyed Atlanta. I found Atlanta to be a city that was open, very southern, very free. People in the South were warmer than I found the people in the North. So Atlanta gave me an opportunity to discover who I was as a spiritual person. I was raised in a Baptist church. My uncle was the minister, so we went to church every Sunday, and Christianity was the basis of my life. But when I came to Atlanta, I was fortunate to get involved with a church that was also Baptist, but also encouraged people to develop their spiritual self, their metaphysical self. So I learned that it was fine to meditate, that you could really discover who you were to meditate. I was invited to go to seminars, to read books about spirituality. So I really got closer to who that person was by exploring myself spiritually. Along my path, I found out also that I was a healer. That was a surprise to me. But then as I look back on my life, I always have been a caring person. I always listened to people. And but I had an opportunity to discover the art of Reiki. And so by practicing Reiki, which is an energy modality, which is being able to see and to feel energy and to help people balance themselves, I understood that I did have that power in my hands. I'm not the healer, but I understand that I'm a channel through the Most High. So by doing Reiki, I have an opportunity to work, to co-create with the Creator. So I really enjoy doing that. Another passion I have is education. My degrees are in education. I've directed an early childhood education program, I was very proud of that because it was a traditional early childhood education program, but because of my interest in myself as a person of African descent, the whole center was infused with our African culture. So that drew a lot of the young women in our community there, and it allowed us as a community to develop our sense of who we are as a people, which meant, we're intergenerational, we listen to the children, we listen to the parents, we listen to the community and promoted dialogue. And that led me to do more community work and some work that I'm very proud of. I was able to partner with other people in the community, and we developed a festival just for African American children. At the time I was living in New Orleans, and in New Orleans there's a festival for everything. There are festivals for jazz, festivals for tomatoes and strawberries. So we thought it was important to have the celebration of the African American child. So we, myself and my other community partners developed the celebration for the African American child that takes place every spring in New Orleans, where the community celebrates African American children. And the festival is so old that now I've met some of these little children who are now adults, and they tell me that they want to bring their children to that festival. I work with children. That's one of my gifts, to work with children. And then because I was educated as an educator, I understand the academic component of it. But working with children, seeing how just giving children love and encouraging them to go to their highest spot, that they can be wonderful people. So I continue to work in that arena with a group that's located in Atlanta now called Sisters of Tomorrow. This particular organization is also over 30 years old. It had its basis in Palo Alto, California. Some of the women who started that group now live in Atlanta. And just for some kind of synchronistic kind of thing, we met up and we become friends, and we continue that organization. We we invite young families to come to us. We have a council of elders, and we have a curriculum that has been developed over the years, and we invite the parents to look at the curriculum and develop, along with the elders of our group, activities that help the children master the goals of each component of the program. The girls are initiated through a process of going through certain goals and experiences. We have hands-on activities, interactive activities. We have people come in and actually lecture to the children and talk to them about what particular aspects of womanhood is important, and then we try to give them experiences that highlight those particular goals and aspects. When the children finish going through the curriculum, sometimes and we don't have a set time, we just have certain components that the children have to master. You can do it in a year, you can do it in 2 years, you can do it in 3 years, 4 years. It just depends on the momentum of the families that are a part of our group. It's not so much a program as a community experience. But when the girls finish this experience, they have developed a bond with girls who aren't necessarily their blood sisters, but this bond is cemented with experiences that they've had with the elders, with each other, with other people in the community. They're asked to do community service. They're asked to look at themselves and and try to understand who they are and what are their goals as young women. What does it take for a young girl to become a young woman and then become a mother and then an elder in the community? So we have a lot of experiences for the girls. We invite people to come in and talk to them. We have father-daughter teas. We have grandmother teas, because we want them to understand that it's just not you and your mother and your father and your siblings, but you need your grandma, you need your auntie, you need your cousin, and you need people who look like you, who care about you and understand your history to help you grow and to become a woman. And I know that all of us are here for a reason, and I believe if we encourage each other and love each other and just interact with each other, that our communities will be stronger, because each of us has a piece of the puzzle. And I feel that by working with this young group of young women, I'm encouraging these young women to find that little niche that they have, that's their perfect place, that their little perfect pearl that they have to give to the world. And all of us have a goal. All of us have something to give. And I think that as we interact with each other, as we talk with each other, as we play together, as we work together, that we can encourage each other to be our very best selves. We're a community, and it's a very flexible program, and each time we have a group of girls, it looks different because we have different families that come. Our elders usually remain the same, and we also have mothers, other women in the community who come and like to work with us, but each group has a different flavor because we're so many different flavors. The families come from many parts of the country, different parts of the community, different socioeconomic groups, but we all understand that we're Africans and that we love each other, and that we're kin. We came over here together, And we all have much to give each other if we work together as a community.
And your family has spent a lot of time in Africa.
Yes.
Yes, your husband, your daughter, and you as well.
Yes.
And so explain what that experience, what that feels like, because there's a lot of individuals that can't even fathom, like traveling to Africa. What is it like to step on the soil of Africa?
I remember the first time I went to Africa, and when I stepped off the plane, there was all of my senses were assaulted. I smelled something that I'd never smelled before, but it was very familiar. The air is different. Your body, the sun touches your body, and your sun my body took on a different color. I had never tanned like that before, and it was my skin was the most beautiful brown that has ever been in this life. I have a picture taken of me the first time I went to Africa, and I never looked that good before. And I know it's just because I was home. Every cell in my body knew that I was home. So what is it like? It's like coming home. I think as people who live in the diaspora, there's a part of us that always feels this loneliness because we know we don't really belong here. Then again, we are global citizens, but I think as every African, we need to always go back and touch that soil because that's our beginning, that's our root. It felt like being home. Yeah, so I invite everyone to go, everyone who's of African descent to go and just experience this land that's been hidden from us. We're always taught that it's a jungle, that it's a place that's not comfortable, and that people are backward. When I went to Africa, I felt so ignorant. I met people who could speak 3 or 4 languages. I met people who were well versed in world politics, and everyone just knew so much more than I did. And I had a college education, a European education, but it's home, and I understand that it's home. And I think Africa is waiting for us. And I hope that at some point there will be a partnership between the continental Africans and the Africans in the diaspora, because they've been colonized just like we have. And if we come together, I think we would be a mighty force, because we both have so much to teach each other. Because there's some things that continental Africans have forgotten about being Africans, and there's some things that we forgot because we've been over here. And I'm just looking forward to that day when those two worlds can come together and we'll be one people again,
Yeah, that's such a powerful statement, to understand that separation, and the forces that be that are intentionally keeping people separate from one another because of the possibility of the power that can be harnessed once they do come together and form that kinship. So thank you for bringing that to our attention. Do you bring the that knowledge of Africa and include it in your Rites of Passage program?
Oh, most definitely. We want our children to understand that, bottom line, you are African. You may come from Ohio or Chicago or Washington, but you are an African. And we have experiences that talk about that. We talk about genealogy. We encourage the children to look at your families and see where you came from, and what things do you do that are still African. And we talk about things like music and drumming and art, and we try to expose the children to, what's happening here in America, but let them understand this came from Africa. I remember one time we took the young ladies to New Orleans. Africa was just spilling out all over there, and we were able to point out, isn't that very African? So yeah, they do understand. When they come through their group, they understand that they're Africans, and we're encouraging them to wear African garments at events and to explore what it's like to be an African woman living in America.
You serve from the inception to the birth, and then through the Rites of Passage program, and so it's such a beautiful circle that you've created with that population. So, but explain to us what a doula, what the purpose and who do you serve and how do you serve?
Okay, a doula is basically known as a mother's helper, and doulas have been around throughout the in the time. Every woman who has a baby should have a doula, and the doula does everything that a midwife does, but we don't do any medical kinds of things. We're there to be the friend of the mother, the support person for the mother. And that's so very important in Georgia, because Georgia has a very high mortality rate for women of color. Doesn't matter what your economic status is or how much education you have. When you go into these hospitals, there's a very high chance that you may not come out alive, especially if you're a woman of color. We all know living in America is a very stressful thing, and we've been here long enough where we're starting to see how this stress is actually physically affecting our bodies. So I became a doula, first of all, because, my children, grew up and then they left the house. They went out into the world, and I realized I had all these skills, all these mothering skills, but nobody to mother or parenting. So when I heard about the doula, I remember my mother telling me that when she had her first child, they kept her upstairs for 30 days. And I didn't understand that. But now I understand the importance of a mother and a baby bonding, the importance of protecting the baby from all the germs, physical and invisible and spiritual that are out here in the world. So maybe 30 days may have been a bit too much, but I think that mother and that baby and the father need that time to bond and to create those relationships that will support that baby throughout its life. So being a doula is a very important and very necessary task, I think, that we have to do as women.
And you talked about in New Orleans where you have the smaller children and then they come back and they're bringing their children.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that feel to know that you're impacting all these generations of African Americans, of people of African descent, that you've touched the lives and you've increased their quality?
How does that feel?
Yes.
Oh, it's very satisfying. It gives me purpose. I know there are other things that I'm called to do on the planet, but by being a doula, by working with the Rites of Passage group, I know that that's one way I'm giving back. So I think it's very important to give back, because there were so many people who poured into me. I didn't get a chance to go to college just because I was brilliant, even though I am. There were other people who dreamed of me going to school. So my going to college fulfilled other people's dreams. So as a person in the community, I know it's important when you see a young child, when you have an opportunity to touch people, that it's important to touch each time you can, because you never know what words you have to say or what touch you can give somebody, how that will spark them to do different kinds of things. Mm-hmm. And people of color, we like to touch and we like to connect, and this society talks about us being individuals, but we're a communal people. And I think by working with the group in New Orleans and working with the Rites of Passage group here, that allows me to expand and be a worthwhile person who contributes to the community.
Well, thank you very much. Is there a message that you would like to leave to the community mm-hmm. in regards to overall wellness, a message of hope or inspiration, mm-hmm. A message of love that mm-hmm. you would like to leave with the audience?
Okay, well, first of all, I think the most and the best wonderful thing in the world on this planet is love. And as people of color, I want to just encourage us to continue to love each other and to not be judgmental and be ready to forgive. We've already won, and we just have to recognize that. And if we just continue to love each other and accept each other for who we are and be willing to say, I'm sorry, that we can make it, that we will continue to make it. The future is ours. We just have to grab it. My life path has led me on a journey where I can support people from the womb, the cradle, to the grave.
That's awesome to have that type of impact on human life. It's meant for all stages, right?
Yeah, it's a cycle.
How beautiful.
Bye.